I am the bride of Satan. I am Jezebel, the Jezebel spirit, the queen of heaven. Yes, I'm a demonic principality. I'm the opposite, contrary, and a counterfeit to the bride of Christ. The bride of Satan, which is myself, is also called Jezebel, the queen of heaven. And I'm speaking in regards to the second heaven, which is in the constellations. It's not the heaven that the Most High God is located in. So now I'm going to talk about the nature of who and what I am and what my agenda is and my method of operations are concerning you and your destiny. The Jezebel spirit is born out of witchcraft and rebellion. This demon is one of the most common spirits operating in the world today. I prey on sincere believers and good people whose hearts are for God and are leaders that have a passion for ministry and the truths of God. Jezebel is a spirit and as such is gender neutral. And although I am female, Jezebel does affect men. We refer to Jezebel as she simply due to the fact that the spirit operated as an actual queen that lived thousands of years ago. Her name was Jezebel. However, Jezebel targets both male and females. And although women appear to be more susceptible to her first strike and then potentially used as a host, men, on the other hand, also can be victimized by Jezebel's attacks and her operations. Regardless of being a host or a victim, Jezebel's masquerade of trickery, sorcery, and seduction targets a vast array of people and groups. As a demon, the spirit of Jezebel gains access into one's life by a way of sin. She opens the door and provides a point of access necessary for Jezebel to attack. Anger, jealousy, hatred, rage, or any other thought and emotion that remained unchecked are dangerous things. Watch for the spirit to target men and women who are embittered against authority, either through neglect, misuse, or abuse of authority. The Jezebel spirit manifests itself by attacking God's original creation and plan, specifically the relationship he has with mankind and the roles of men and women on this earth. How the Jezebel spirit attacks men. Men in general are targets of Jezebel. However, passive men that will not confront issues or embrace the responsibility to lead fits nicely into Jezebel's plot to overthrow all authorities and take control of churches and families and the world that we live in. Everywhere you go, she is there. In deliverance ministry, this type of man is commonly known as an Ahab. Ahab men are extremely selfish and they are typically more concerned with spending time in their man cave than the things of God. They are consumed by the desire to be successful and must have their way all the time. They are girly men in the spirit and prime targets for Jezebel to seduce them emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. Jezebel hates men and is determined to destroy them. She is unable to have a true godly relationship with men. She looks to emasculate them and undermine all authority that they have, whether in the family, business, or church. Jezebel looks to remove fathers from the home. She will use seduction, perversion, and pornography as tools to get men to engage in adulterous affair or inappropriate text messages, chat rooms, and late-night internet porn sites. Jezebel's seducing power over men is often in the form of flattery. Pastors, husbands, and males in key position of leadership are likely targets of this seduction. The female host of Jezebel will flatter powerful men with attention and look to establish a stronghold that provides her with easy access for online demand conversations. In the home, Jezebel looks to wear the pants and desires to be the controlling boss. The spirit of Jezebel will incite a wife to publicly humiliate her husband with her sharp tongue to show who's in charge. Jezebelic women are often seen as overbearing, bossy, in control, extremely talkative to the point of talking over their husbands and dominating. Additionally, Jezebel used their children as instruments of control and manipulation to advance her agenda. Watch for women who do not permit male children to mature into independent men. Mothers that continue to care for their growing sons well into their 20s, 30s, and beyond create friction in the home. This is a strategy deployed by Jezebel to frustrate the husband and weaken the role of men in the home. Jezebel has a powerful demonic ability to intimidate and irritate ultimately causing men to withdraw and give up. Jezebel is a militant dictator in the home and seeks to destroy the functionality of the family to ensure that her husband and her children will not be able to operate independently of her. Her ultimate goal is to remove the men from the home via separation or divorce, or through adultery, fornication, or any way she can think of. Now, the targets that are women of Jezebel's spirit. Although the spirit of Jezebel is genderless, women are sought out due to their unique ability to manipulate with emotion, seduction, and body language. Prime targets are women that have experienced abuse from their father, former spouse, or lover. Additionally, look for Jezebel to target women who are bitter because their biological father abandoned them at an early age. Young girls that do not have a father in the home or no relationship with their father can feel as if they've been robbed of the entitlement. Indeed, no one can deny the pain of not experiencing the love, happiness, and safety of a father-daughter relationship. Nevertheless, Jezebel will exploit any weakness in a person's life and probe into the deep wounds of rejection to determine the best strategies to utilize this victim for her network. Divorced women are also targets. Divorce is an ugly monster that brings much pain to all parties involved. The Jezebel spirit is a covenant-breaking spirit that destroys marriages. Children and both spouses can become scarred for life from divorce. Deliverance and healing is needed for everyone involved. Any unforgiveness or bitterness will quickly become points of access for Jezebel. Divorce can bring shame, embarrassment, guilt, hurt, and rejection. If left unresolved, anger, rage, and hatred can enter into it. Watch for Jezebel to connect divorced women with others that have experienced the pain of divorce or hurt from men. Women that have been tricked by men into sleeping with them through the promise of marriage or false words of love can become hurt and angry. Repeated events or conversations with other women that have experienced similar situations can quickly shift the woman's mindset into one that views all men as dogs. Jezebel will capitalize on this opportunity and look to develop a stronghold in a person's life. One of the tactics of Jezebel is to lead hurt and abused women down a dark path of homosexuality. Jezebel's perversions include lesbianism. She will link others that have experienced male abandonment and get them to engage in sexual acts of worship to the ancient gods of homosexuality. Finally, women who have been hurt by pastors and church leaders are targeted. Jezebel will employ demons of retaliation that have easy access to the host holding on or to past hurt, shame, and pain. Anger and hatred will drive the host to a place where Jezebel can release a fury of vengeance against the pastor. Hurt, wounded, and abused. Jezebel targets deeply wounded people with emotional hurts to manipulate and control them into doing her bidding. Individuals with a history of emotional and physical abuses are prime targets to be assimilated into Jezebel's network. Many people have become wounded through words, negative and harmful words spoken by those that normally should reflect love, support, and encouragement, can have adverse effects on people's lives. Demonic spirits always look to torment children at very young ages with various degrees and methods of abuse. Parents have a responsibility to nurture their children with love, protection, and care. When the fundamental responsibility is neglected or breaks down, it opens a door for the spirit of rejection to come in. Even when a child is in the womb, words released have a great impact. Spirits of rejection will enter into a child's life even prior to birth due to negative, evil, and hurtful words. An unwanted child will experience various levels of the manifestation of rejection demons. Later on in life, the now grown individual carries the past with them everywhere they go. Young children that experience hostile and traumatic events such as verbal, physical, or sexual abuse will be traumatized by demons. This holds true for adults also, especially married couples. Physical abuse by parents, spouses, relatives, and authoritative figures through beatings, tortures, and afflicting wounds are all portholes for entrance of rejection demons. Those that have experienced abusive adult relationships may find themselves as recruits for Jezebel's rebellious network. Jezebel is consistent in her pursuit for wounded people that can join her in her web of destruction. Additionally, males and females alike that have been abandoned by their natural biological father or mother are prone to rejection. Jezebel will summon and deploy demons of insecurity, lust, guilt, and shame to develop a stronghold of rejection. I believe rejection is the strong man that prepares a way for the diabolical spirit of Jezebel, myself, to maneuver within a host. There are many causes for rejection to enter into one's life. Of course, not all rejection is the same. For example, the fear of rejection is the pain of being rejected by others and the strong need for love that has gone unfulfilled by those whom it has been needed, such as parents, siblings, or a spouse, or a spiritual leader. On the other hand, self-rejection occurs when one thinks that the reason people don't love them is because of something they've done. They believe that they are the reason people abuse them, and if they do something, they will be loved. Conditional love. Individuals that have been bound by a spirit of rejection will look to compensate for the pain and torment of rejection. Rebellion is a common response to rejection. Eternal anger manifests in the form of rebellion against those groups, people, classes, or races of people that have harmed the person. 1 Samuel 15:23, for rebellion is as of the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Rebellious people are susceptible to hosting the spirit of Jezebel. Rebellion is witchcraft, and Jezebel has birthed out of witchcraft. Rebellion causes the perfect environment for Jezebel to release her whoredoms and witchcraft.